playing lights out right now. Mo Wagner is a beast inside and out. Do not sleep on the Wolverines. They've got an easy track to the Final Four.
Go Blue! How about it? Make yourself heard on First Take Your Take. Head over to Facebook. Check out our debate on Facebook Watch. Post your video reaction for a chance to debate with Stephen A. Smith or Max Kellerman.
Sports Center right now. I'm Antonieta Collins. College hoop madness is in full effect here at ESPN. Our Marty Smith is in the middle of his tournament challenge road trip spanning 10 locations over 1,000 miles in about 30-hour period. Here's a look at the Marty party so far.
All right, we're about to get this Marty party underway. Connie Law's already on us now. It's about 8 degrees out here. Kyle's got cut-off sweatpants on. Oh, you can't hide money, big boy.
Taking one of these watches, man. You got enough watches. Take this watch.
I think we're going to be all right. We're going to go to the next school, man.
He's had too many beers. Time to grub, boys. Gary Clark is a problem. Yeah! The vans have been on the fritz. It's been giving us some grief.
Marty, good luck. Part out the car. We'll Venmo you money if things get really desperate. It's all right.
Now we've made our way to the Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio. Bobby, look over here. There he is.
Hey, guys.
So these gentlemen have been... Got him. I have 2 left skates somehow.
This is like the opening rehearsals for Margot Robbie and I, Tanya.
Back to First Take with more on college hoops.
I need more Marty in my life. He is the best. Welcome back to the First Take edition of the ESPN Tournament Challenge, the #1 bracket game. And make sure you stay focused right now because Jay Billis is in the house. Good morning.
Good morning.
Man, what's going on, buddy?
We just need to tell America how dedicated you are to your job. Can you please tell them where you slept last night?
It's not dedication. It's more of a hostage situation.
Yeah.
I was kind of, Kate Leonard set up cots for us
Oh, that was
in
nice.
a beautiful little room that we have there near the digital center. And so it's very much like Guantanamo Bay. Yeah, so
Because you're very petite, so you fit well on a cot.
it's actually perfect.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Inside
Let
of a nine-figure studio, they have cots.
Yeah, it's very, it's actually very
It
nice.
is so good. We're having fun, though. We're glad to have you. Let's start with your Final Four picks. Who you going with? Break it down for us. Why?
Going with Virginia,
Okay.
Villanova,
I'm
2
writing this
#1
down.
seeds.
Okay.
Then I've got Michigan, although Michigan would have to get through North Carolina as the #2 seed.
That's right.
So the 3 get through number 2, and they lost to them earlier this year in Chapel Hill. And the last one is Michigan State. Michigan State is a 3 seed as well, which is surprising that they wound up with a 3 seed. I think they're much better than that. For me, Michigan State would have been flirting with the 1 line. It probably should have been on the 1 line over Xavier. But for them as a 3, I like the way they play. And even though they didn't have the best of schedules because of how the Big Ten fell this year, I think Michigan State's legit. 29-4.
Of the 4 that you picked to go to the Final Four, who are you most worried about derailing your picks? Because I'm looking at Michigan, and I'm Michigan State rather, and they would run into Duke in the Sweet 16. I'm looking at Michigan, they would run into North Carolina in the Sweet 16. I'm looking at Virginia, you would run into Kentucky or Arizona in the Sweet 16. Who are you most worried about?
Well, you worry about all of them because any one of them can come into problems. I don't think we're going to see a situation. I don't look at this tournament like this crazy anything can happen thing, because I think anything can happen in any tournament any year.
Yeah.
And it strikes me as almost a little bit nutty to say, anybody can win, and then say the top teams can't win. They're the more likely ones to win if anybody can win. But I would say, to answer your question, I would say Michigan would be the one I would be most concerned about. Michigan is really good, and they're on a high, and they're playing great. With Carolina in their bracket, that's a tough matchup for them. Carolina plays a style that can get them going up and down the court, and Carolina's a really good rebounding team, and traditionally that's been a problem for Michigan. But Michigan's a better defensive rebounding team this year than they've been in a long time. And so I feel comfortable with that pick, or I wouldn't have made it. But Carolina is, even though Carolina's nowhere near as good this year as they were last year and the year before, when Carolina was the best team in the country last year, best team in the country the year before, when Villanova beat them. I still think they were the best. They are not that this year. And I'm not even sure they're 2 seed, frankly. They won the most games in that quad one to be able to justify the 2 seed. But this isn't a vintage Carolina team. They've done an amazing job to be where they are.
Williams has done a great job.
Great. He is
Special.
And that is one hellacious basketball coach.
No question about it. What's up,
Jay,
Max? Go ahead, Max.
Jay, I'm a little surprised with the Michigan State pick, only because Duke has this combination of blue chip young talent with upperclassmen who've been there before and everything, and obviously Coach K. What don't you like about Duke?
There's nothing that I don't like, and I agree with you that they've got an unbelievable amount of talent. Where I might differ a little bit is the upper class, that they've really only got one guy that's been there before, and that's Grayson Allen. He's the only senior that plays any minutes at all. The other guys that have been there for at least a year haven't had prominent roles before. And frankly, they don't have prominent roles now. So it's an incredibly young team with all freshmen. They're playing zone now, even though that zone defense has been formidable. There have only been a couple of teams, maybe, I think it's only one team, that being North Carolina in the ACC tournament, that has put up over 70 since February 8th. The only team that scored that much on them is North Carolina.
Jay,
so I think Michigan State's going to rebound on them. If they wind up playing, Michigan State's got a little bit of an edge because they lost to them earlier this year. And then I think rebounding against that zone, and they're a very good shooting team, Michigan State. I think Michigan State can beat them.
I tell you
is
this.
that an indictment on Grayson Allen at all? Because if that's your upper class, or even the fact that he's not a guard. Right, sometimes if you have that veteran or that upperclassman in the backcourt, it just feels a little different. Does that have anything to do with it?
I don't know what single person you could put at the helm of a team this young and say, okay, you shoulder all that responsibility yourself, and you play too, and have it work out any better than it's worked out this year. Grayson Allen has done a great job this year as a leader.
I'm going to say this too, and I heard Coach Krzyzewski being interviewed by Mad Dog, believe it or not, the other day, and I completely agree with Coach K. I think Grayson Allen had a problem last year. I think that a lot of people don't give him credit for how much he has come along. I think we've been entirely too hard on that kid, to be quite honest with you, based on all the things that he experienced. I think he's been great this year. The key to me, though, when I think about staying with Duke, I love this guy, Gary Trent Jr. I mean, I love this guy. Now, he only shoots 41% from the field, but he shoots 46% from the three-point range. And it just seems to me, Jay, every big shot that you need, he delivers. To me, when you win national championships, it's that ingredient that I don't think we look at enough when we're looking at the tournament and saying a team has a particular guy that just seems to be Mr. Big Shot. And that's how I view Gary Trent Jr. Am I wrong?
No. Gary Trent Jr. is a great young player.
He's special.
And he earlier in the season, they played, I think it was at Miami, and he wound up with 30 points in that game. It wasn't just the number of points, it was the shots that he hit. And hit big ones when the game was on the line, and shots you take that if you miss, you're digging yourself a hole.
That's right.
He's the real deal. He's really good, and it does not make any sense. You look at him, and he's a stud. He's
a stud because his daddy played in the NBA.
Yeah.
His daddy
Shaq
was a stud. I mean, Gary Trent was not a man to mess with.
Shaq of the match, but then he's got this high voice, so it really doesn't match up. If he ever talks trash, you're going to go, what?
Still maturing. Jay, let's keep going here, though. Who do you have going to the national championship game?
Virginia, because of their defense, and there's just a quality of closeness that they have together that you can't shake them. I actually did one of their 2 games that they lost. They lost to Virginia Tech at home. And a surprising loss, but they did a couple things out of character, and I don't think they get out of character very much. And then I've got Michigan State going against them.
Am I cruel for saying this? I really don't want Virginia to win. I mean, I respect the hell out of them. Tony Bennett's a great coach. They're great kids. They're very together. But, Molly, have you seen these brothers play defense? I mean, they just ruin everything because they shut everybody down.
Yeah.
I mean, it would not surprise me if I saw them hold a team to 45 points in a tournament. Game.
They will do that.
They will do it.
They did it to Carolina. They for 2 years in a row at Virginia, they have held Carolina to under 50 points.
Wow.
That's next to impossible. Yes. Not one team this year has reached 70. On
not one.
That's an incredible stat.
Jay,
I've never seen that.
I've never seen it either. Go ahead,
Jay,
Max.
when I watch Virginia, it seems to me like, why can't everyone just get in that kind of shape and press the ball, like, attack the ball handler wherever he is? It doesn't feel like that's the most talented team I've ever seen. They're just working harder on defense. They're more energetic. Why isn't that more widely imitated? Is it just because of the level of effort involved?
I think that's part of it, that they have great effort, but I think it's the collective that, if you have any defense and 4 out of the 5 guys are playing their tail off and doing everything exactly right, you get scored on. And 80% is not good enough to stop a team from scoring.
Right.
But with Virginia, all 5 guys play as one. So if they're hedging on a ball screen, somebody's picking up the roll guy, and then they recover, and they do it continuously for 30 seconds every possession. It's ridiculously continuous.
I think looking at this bracket, looking at the South region, you got Virginia coming out. I don't think I will have ever rooted harder for a team in the NCAA tournament than I'm going to root for Arizona. Not just because of this kid, DeAndre. I mean, this kid's special. He's going to be the #1 overall pick. He is just special. But that combined with how ugly Virginia can make a basketball game has me rooting for Arizona, because I really believe Arizona, more so than Kentucky, has a better shot at stopping Virginia. Am I wrong about that?
No, you're absolutely right. I think that Kentucky would have a really hard time dealing with Virginia because they're so young.
Right.
I think that would be a really difficult. I think, and you'd probably agree with this, that basketball, more than any other game, is about rhythm. It's about establishing your rhythm and disrupting their rhythm.
Right.
Nobody disrupts rhythm better than Virginia. And they establish theirs better than anybody. So the combination of disrupting and establishing, and I've said this, and I mean this as a compliment, playing against Virginia is like scheduling a root canal at the dentist, and you have to sit in the waiting room for a really long time with no Wi-Fi, no magazines, and then you go in and they don't have any Novocaine, and they start drilling on you.
Right.
That's what it's like, and you've got to be prepared for a game that is unlike any other you're going to play. You're not going to get the shots, the number of shots you normally get. They're not going to come in any kind of flow. It's basically going to be a back alley fist fight, and you got to get through it. And there's nothing good about it.
Do you have them winning it all, beating Michigan State?
No, I got Michigan State. And the only reason Virginia has struggled with Michigan State in the tournament traditionally, and the reason is Michigan State can win in rock fights, and they are very good rebounding the ball. And I think their rebounding would be the difference in this pack line defense, which a lot of teams play, including Arizona, but Virginia plays better. When Virginia shoots, they send 3 guys back because they want to take away your transition. I think that Michigan State can take advantage of them rebounding.
You talked about, who did you talk about is playing more zone now? Duke, you mentioned
Duke is,
that, right?
yeah, they're playing all zone.
Question. Do you believe, from a general perspective, do you believe, in light of what we see in terms of the defensive prowess of a Virginia squad, do you believe that the zone should be eliminated from college basketball?
No, because I think if you can shoot, you can take advantage of a zone. Most teams don't play it that well. But, Duke is playing it because they're so long and athletic, and they're young, and it positions their big guys near the basket, positions their guards out front so they can run out of it a little bit better. And Coach K says they communicate better, they talk better out of it. But they don't have to guard ball screens in that. There's only 5 or 6 things you can do against the zone.
I'll just say it to you because I'll defer to your expertise. For me, the reason why I wish that the zone got eliminated is because I think it would challenge coaches to use more of their bench.
Yes.
And I would love to see that.
I would.
The fact that you got the activity that it enforces.
You don't do that too? Reduce the size of Division I.
There you go.
And rosters would be better.
How about that?
Fortunately, we have to let you go because you have more TV to do.
I'm going back to the cot.
Oh, yeah, you are. Get cozy, get in blankets, and imagine Michigan State wins it all. That would be very interesting after everything that's transpired there this year. That's Jay's pick as of right now. We appreciate you.
Thank you for
We'll be watching you a lot more. Coming up, Kevin Love and DeMar DeRozan spoke about mental illness, and the NBA is doing something about it. We'll talk about what's happening next. But first, keep logging on. Look at the count now. Over 6 million. Tournament Challenge Marathon continues.